Between 1936 and 1939, Spain became the testing ground for a conflict that would shape the rest of the century. But many details of this war remain unknown to most people today. The Spanish Civil War wasn't just a Spanish conflict. It drew volunteers from over 50 countries. Nearly 40,000 international fighters joined the Republican side through the international brigades, including writers like George Orwell and Ernest Hemingway. Meanwhile, Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy openly supported Franco's nationalists, using Spain as a rehearsal stage for weapons and tactics they would later deploy in World War II. One lesser-known fact: the first major aerial bombardment of a civilian population in European history occurred at Guernica in April 1937. German and Italian aircraft destroyed the Basque town in just a few hours, killing hundreds. Picasso's famous painting immortalized the event, but few know that Franco's regime denied responsibility for decades, claiming Republicans had burned their own city. The refugee crisis was staggering in scale. In February 1939 alone, nearly 500,000 people crossed into France in just a few weeks. This was one of the largest refugee movements Europe had seen to that point. French authorities, completely overwhelmed, herded refugees into hastily constructed camps on beaches near the border. Conditions were brutal. Families slept on sand with minimal shelter, food, or medical care. Another overlooked detail: women played crucial combat roles on the Republican side, particularly in the early months. Militia women fought on the front lines until the Republican government, under pressure to appear more conventional to potential foreign allies, removed them from combat positions in late 1936. Their contributions were largely erased from official histories. The war also featured some of history's first modern propaganda techniques. Both sides used radio broadcasts, posters, and even early documentary films to shape international opinion. The Republicans were particularly effective at garnering foreign sympathy, even as they struggled with internal divisions between communists, anarchists, socialists, and moderate Republicans. Here's something rarely discussed. The Spanish Civil War essentially had two endings. The official end came in April 1939 with Franco's victory. But for many, the war continued. Thousands of Spanish refugees who fled to France were later forced into Nazi labor camps when Germany occupied France. Others joined the French resistance or fought in World War II. Some didn't return to Spain for 40 years. The international brigades included an estimated 3,000 Americans who volunteered despite their government's official neutrality. The Abraham Lincoln Brigade, as they were known, suffered devastating casualties. About a third died in Spain. When survivors returned home, many faced suspicion and harassment during the McCarthy era for having fought alongside communists. Medical innovation emerged from the horror. Canadian doctor Norman Bethune pioneered mobile blood transfusion units during the Spanish Civil War, a technique that would save countless lives in subsequent conflicts. Spanish nurses and doctors developed trauma care protocols still used today. The conflict also saw some of the war's strangest moments. In Barcelona, anarchists briefly established a functioning stateless society in early 1937, abolishing money and collectivizing businesses. George Orwell witnessed this experiment firsthand before communist forces violently suppressed it, an event he later documented in Homage to Catalonia. After Franco's victory, the repression was systematic and brutal. Historians estimate that between 150,000 and 200,000 people